Hello, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Brian.
And this is Brian versus Brian, episode 223. Gladiator 2. Take the I in the middle and separate it into two Roman numerals. Then you got it.
Yep.
That came up in the beginning. I was like, well, how do you read Gladiator?
Why is everyone getting cute? Just put the fucking 2 at the end. We don't need to be getting cute. I don't understand.
And then all the press stuff I've seen are like people talk about it. They say Gladiator.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that already happened.
Yeah.
Gladiator 2. What do you mean 2? What do you? This is a continue. It's one film.
Yep.
So November 22nd, 2024. Budget 210 to 310 million. Box office of 221 million so far. This is an expensive flick. Damn, boy.
Yeah.
You know how fucking Ridley Scott do. All right, Gladiator, sequel to the beloved Gladiator. I think that was 2004.
I think it's 2000. Year 2000.
It was 2000. Okay, so yeah, 24 years. I don't know, man. What? So I think Ridley Scott is getting in a weird spot where somebody made, well, first, right off the bat, somebody made a better Alien sequel right after Alien.
Yeah.
And then somebody made a really good Blade Runner sequel.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then someone just recently made a really good Alien sequel. And he's like, what the fuck, man? I think he's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I could do these movies. And I remember he said he regretted not doing Blade Runner. And he was doing like Covenant or something.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. So now he's like, well, I'm going to fucking make a sequel to this shit before somebody else does. I don't think anyone was going to, but I think you were safe with this one.
It did feel like maybe I'm being a little too pessimistic, but it felt like Paramount, after the success of Maverick, rebooting a franchise, it's, they were like, whoa. And obviously they made a fuck ton of money off of Maverick. So they're probably like, well, what else do we got? And they blew the fucking dust off of Gladiator. Oh, I guess we got Gladiator. Let's just do that again. So it kind of felt, that's kind of how I felt about it. Maybe I'm wrong there, but it kind of felt like they needed another hit after Maverick and trying to recreate that success of rebooting kind of an old franchise that they have. And yeah, grabbing Ridley. But I feel like Gladiator 2 has been in...
Yeah, Ridley Scott says here...
for a long time.
Announced that the script was completed in September 2003.
Yeah.
So they've been wanting to make this, and then Russell Crowe was supposed to be in it back then, and they were talking about afterlife and all sorts of weird stuff.
Mm.
But anyways, the movie we really got is I'm gonna have to look at the cast. So we got some fucking crazy names, dude.
Yeah, Mescals and Pascals and Pedros and Washingtons.
Yeah. So we got a young warrior, right? We don't know who it is at the time. It's Hano is what they call him, and he's chilling in a little city or something, and some big boats are coming, and he's like, hey man, that ain't cool. What's up with that? And we got Pedro Pascal riding in a boat.
The Romans are coming.
Acacius, and he's got these big old boats on the water. That was a pretty cool looking scene. Traveling up to the city. The wind is too much. Let the sails hit the water. We must hit the water. And I was like, what's he talking about? Hit the water. And then, hit the water! And the fucking oars come out. Oh, hit the water. Okay, with the oars. And then you got these fucking poor bastards in there. You know how hard it is to row a boat like that?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Against the ocean? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Just going fucking an inch a minute. Oh, we got it. We're going. So, they're pulling up to this city. Pretty cool. We get a bunch of arrows shooting towards them and whatnot, and then we get boats pulling up, and they got this little... I thought there was this big tower on the front. I was like, what is that? And then, obviously, when they come up, they can hit the wall, and then this little drawbridge kind of drops, and you can disembark into the town or city or fortress, and it's stuck, and Pedro, I got this, and gets the shield, puts it over his head.
Yeah, very brave, that Pedro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so brave, so courageous. And he gets in there, and they're fighting. And then Hano has a wife, we see, and she's a warrior. She's got the breastplate, patented warrior chick with the big metal tits on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that.
An archer, yeah.
And which is really good because it's got the curvature. That'll deflect a lot of things. Mm-hmm. Unless you get an arrow straight on with that. We'll come to that later. That's getting deflected. But yeah, they're fighting, and she's up there. She's kicking ass. She's arrowing down some motherfuckers. And Pedro notices this while he's fighting. And so I don't think he even sees her. He just kind of points in the general direction. Up there! Yeah. Kill her! And then all the archers turn on her. And she gets a big old arrow right in the chest. Misses the curvature of the breastplate. So, wasn't deflected. Right through. Falls off the wall. And Hano, what the hell does he do?
I think he just kind of goes knocked out or something. Falls.
Yeah, he just kind of goes into shock, and so he's able to get knocked out. And then we have a little bit of afterlife stuff where he sees the Grim Reaper.
That was kind of cool.
Talking to her. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I'll wait for you. Oh. I don't remember her name. You remember her name?
No, I don't remember anyone's name.
Anyways. Yeah.
Shit. I know one person. That's it, yeah.
And then he wakes up like in the fucking ocean, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of floating there. And then he goes over to her body that's kind of floating in the ocean and embraces her, and he breaks off the arrow sticking out of her chest. Doesn't pull it out, but he just breaks it off, so it's less protrusion. Protrusion. This is nice. And then he doesn't bring the body back to shore. He just leaves it there. But it was kind of weird because the Roman army is there. They're in the water and they're bringing him back.
I think they take him off of her body or take him.
So it's they're like, hey, who's left out here that's alive? Come on, buddy. And they're just kind of nice at this point. They're not killing nobody. They're just rounding you up. And hey, leave the body there, son. Come on. We got to go. We're late. Come on. Yeah. It's just kind of strange what's going on. And then we get back to Rome. I like that the scene where we're all in the boat. Pretty much the slave quarters at the bottom of the boat. And I don't know, his black friend who was somebody in the army.
The leader of that colony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his arm is messed up, and he's like, they injured you or something. And he's like, and then he ties it up with a brace, and he's like, oh, don't worry. The horrors that they bring me to face, I cannot face. Or something. He knows he's dead. And then they're all looking out the port windows, and they're pulling up on the city. Oh, this is Rome. So it's so big. And then I think Hano's like, don't let it fool you. This city's poisoned. It's a goddamn poison. It's like it's Hollywood or something. And then we get there. He first is part of a smaller gladiator sect, like a little, like a rinky-dink operation or something.
Yeah, right outside the outskirts of Rome, I think that's what it said.
And they're fighting in a fucking chicken coop or something, like a tiny pen. How did that first fight go? Oh yeah, they fought baboons. That was interesting. Yeah. Those baboons just going nuts. CG baboons didn't look that great.
Yeah,
but,
I was not a fan of this fight scene at all. Yeah, I checked out a little bit. I was like, this is pretty. This is the first battle of the. Well, I mean, if you don't count the Romans, taking that city, this is the first gladiator fight scene you're going to start with. Like, that was kind of a rough start. Choking him out, biting its ear and shit.
Yeah, what the fuck? He uses the chain to kind of knock out some of his teeth, and that baboon is kind of apprehensive now. He's like, my teeth hurt, and he's like, you can tell he was not sure about it. He attacks him again. Hano bites his arm. The baboon's like, what the fuck, dude? Come on, man. This guy's crazy. It chokes him out. And that's where we meet Denzel Washington. He's a proprietor of slaves, it would seem. Um, the fuck was his name? Damn. Mar Macrinus? Marcinus? Macrinus.
Yeah.
That's Macrinus. Proprietor of slaves, and he's in charge of um getting new slaves and gladiators for the games or something. I don't know exactly how it works. But anyways, he takes a shining to this guy. Ooh, this guy bit a baboon. I'll buy him.
Yeah.
And he gets him. And then he, has a talk with this guy, Hano, and says, I can turn you into a famous gladiator. Some people choose ones that are entertainers. Some people choose brute strength. I choose rage. I see the rage in you when you bit that baboon with such force. And the Colosseum can turn slaves into free men. And he's like, and Hano's he's kind of an asshole. He's not a very likable guy up until the end. And he's like, I don't fight for anyone. I do my own thing. He's like, you can fight or not fight. You can die or live. I don't care. But you're going.
Yeah.
So anyways.
I think that at one point, I don't know if it's early on, but at some point they kind of make a deal where I think the Hano's like,
yeah.
I'll make you a shit ton of money, and Denzel's like, I'll give you the head, or it's like, what do you want if you don't want your freedom? And he's like, I want the head of Pedro Pascal, and I think there's like some sort of mutual thing. I'll give you his head if you make me a shit ton of money, or something like that.
He wants the head of the Roman army. He's like, that's a lot. You may have to narrow that down. He's like, I'll settle for the head of Acacius.
Right. Yeah,
and then he's like, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. I promise you. I will put you in the position to take his head. That's all I can do. And where do we go from there?
I think early on we get. I'm not gonna remember anyone's name, so I'm just gonna use actors' names. I'm terrible with this.
Yeah.
Shit. But we get this scene where Pedro comes back, and we finally meet the two emperors that took over Joaquin Phoenix's role. It's now a joint. A joint thing with these two young fucking
the brothers, which is really weird because it seemed like they're doing a Joaquin Phoenix, at least one of them, the guy from
Stranger
Things.
Yeah,
seems like it's just a Joaquin Phoenix like impersonations, cadence and stuff, and they're very pale, of course. And there's him, and then the other one, I don't know what he's from, but I think they reveal later on that his disease of his loins is attacking his brain. What is that, syphilis or something
like that?
If it's untreated, it makes you go crazy back in the day. So he's kind of just out there. But I thought the Stranger Things guy was really good.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I feel like they were a little over the top for this movie. They kind of felt a little out of place, but I thought he did a pretty good job. And I like that, like, our first introduction to Pedro is not a very good one because he kills our hero's woman and he's just like this general of the enemy. But their first meeting, it seems like Pedro's kind of on the good side, where he's just like, I went and conquered the place, whatever. I just don't want to do it anymore. And they're like, more, we want to go more places. We want to keep going. And he's just like,
yeah, he's like, I want some time with my wife. And we come to find out that his wife is, what's her name from the first one?
Joaquin's sister, yeah.
Yeah. She just gets around, right? He's like Maximus, like Acacius. Anyways, they say, no, we have to conquer Egypt and some other one. And he's like, it's like, I need rest. I need to see my wife. You will see her once you are done conquering. Yeah. Done. And it's like, the people of Rome need to eat, and it's like they're wasting all the money on wars. Like, let them eat war. I love that. Yes, brother, let them eat war. The little weird brother is so funny. Yeah. He's got like a monkey and shit. Yeah. My monkey. My monkey loves war. And then we go to so now we're at back of the city, and we got the Gladiator fucking Coliseum. What's the first time they were in there? I don't remember what they were fighting or doing. It's kind of
Yeah, I remember like early on, Denzel has an opportunity to show off Hannes in like a party.
oh, it's like a private party. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a fight there, and that's important because at the end of that fight, he recites some poetry, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
That kind of comes back later, but that was kind of a fun scene. He's like, "Dude, we don't have to fight for their entertainment," and they, just like goes after him. He's like, "All right, well,
Yeah,
doing this."
yeah, and they're gonna fight like fist, like hand-to-hand combat, and then the
Right.
Emperor, no swords. Someone must die. And so they get swords, and anyways, Hano bests him. Then the Emperor goes to talk to him. What is your name? And then what does he say? Fucking hell comes for us all.
Yeah,
And
the
recites
Valley of
the
the
shit.
Dark and Deep, or whatever, some
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and then Denzel, you kind of think you think is a good kind of guy. He's like looking out for these people. He protects him right there. It's just, he does not know any tongue but his own. Yes, sire. He's reciting poetry. It's Shakespeare over here. He's something like that. And so he kind of protects him from, because it's obvious he's saying this to him, not just reciting it.
Yeah.
So he kind of protects him there. So you don't know quite where Denzel is at.
But he also knows
It
something's
feels,
up. He's like, "There's no way. I've seen so many warriors and slaves. No one was ever recited. There's something more to this guy than we know."
yeah. And I don't remember how that gets back to the Queen, if you call her that. But
I want to say I could be wrong, but I want to say we eventually get to the first Colosseum fight, which is the Rhino fight. But I think that one of the brothers says something like, "Oh, that's the guy that was at the fight the other day that was did the poetry thing," and says like the opening line, and then she's like, "Wait a minute, what? What did he say?" I think that's how
yeah,
it happened, but I could be wrong.
yeah. I was wondering what the fuck is the connection, because so far in the movie, all you had was the Joaquin Phoenix's sister. It's like, okay, that's not such a small connection to the first movie. Hey, I'm here,
Yeah.
still here. I'm still hanging out. Um, but then we get some flashbacks of her hiding Lucius right at the end of Gladiator. Lucius is safe. Maximus dying, and then she immediately just ships him off on a fucking horse.
Yeah.
Go, Lucius! You're not
What?
safe here, and you never will be. Someday I'll see you again.
I was like,
It's like,
"What?
okay,
Why?"
why don't you leave too? Why are you staying? Everyone's dead.
Yeah.
Like, you have nothing connecting you here, and you couldn't go with your son. Like, no, 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 I have to be here for the Empire, you know?
Yeah.
No, you don't. What the fuck is keeping you here? So that was weird. And it was weird because all of this obviously had to be filmed later, and she's old,
Hmm.
playing the young one, and then the Lucius is a different actor
Yeah.
that they've already cut in clips of the other actor, and so that's a little weird. Um, yeah, I find it really. Here's my 2 cents. Your sequel is not very good if you have to use clips of the first movie in the fucking sequel. Okay? If there's clips, that means you should have made a sequel. They're
Yeah.
showing clips of Maximus floating and touching grain, and then clips of the boy, and it's like, dude, if it needed a sequel, it'd be in our mind. We'd know. We don't need this. I can't think of a good sequel where they're showing clips of the first movie. It's just such a, I don't know. It seems cheap and amateur to do that,
Yeah, they even did that
especially
in the
for,
Matrix. I didn't even like that. The last Matrix. Remember in that room and they're actually showing scenes from the
yeah,
Matrix? I was just like, okay. Yeah, I agree. And also, all right, I get it. It's the sequel. People are going to know who Maximus is. I understand that. Name drop him once or twice. I get it. But throughout this whole movie, everyone, Maximus, Maximus, here's Maximus, and Maximus did this, Maximus. We have him on the wall. Who's that? Maximus, Maximus. I'm like, all right,
yeah.
we get it.
It's like he, I mean, he was a fucking gladiator for a little while,
Yeah.
and then killed the emperor. Um, No one talks about him killing the emperor much. It's kind of just like, oh, he was a great warrior.
Yeah.
We buried him under the Colosseum. Here's his breastplate. His name was scratched out. Why? Because he was great. That's why. Like, he killed the emperor. That's a pretty big like thing to have on your resume. No one talks about that. No, he was a great man. That's what he was. So, anyways, come to find out that this Hano is actually what the hell's the kid's name? Damn it,
Lucius.
Lucius.
That's the only name I remember. It's Lucius.
Yeah, it's Lucius. And the mom finds out and tries to go talk to him, and Lucius is he's kind of an asshole like the whole movie until the end.
Yeah,
and he's still not that likable. It's not really any likable characters. I think the most likable character was Pedro.
Yeah,
he seems like a really genuine guy. Like he has no reason to fight for Lucius or to do the things he does, but he does it to his detriment. And he doesn't get a lot of time.
In
the movie at all. I think. Yeah, he should have been more utilized. But anyways, she goes to talk to Hano Lucius, and my son, I sent him away. Yada yada yada. It's like, I don't know who you think I am, woman. But if I was your son, I would tell you your son died many years ago when you sent him away. This is dramatic ass shit. Yeah. And it's so weird that it's like he claims, I don't know, he says it, but I don't remember my mother. I don't remember where I was born and all this. It's like, you were 12. Who the fuck doesn't remember when they're 12?
Yeah,
I can understand if you were like 5 or something, but this would be in your brain. So I think he was just saying that because obviously he knows something's up, but I just thought that was strange. Like, I don't know. I was only 15 at the time. I can't remember. Your memories don't start till you're an adult. So she's kind of mad about that. Kind of sad about that. He's pissed, I guess. Rightfully so. I was like, he sent me away. I mean, what did you stay here for? Yeah. To stand next to the new emperors for 24 years? Like, ooh. Like, yeah, you really needed to be here. So that's weird.
I think she even drops the Maximus thing on him, too, in that scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like, damn.
Tells him who his father is. And I was just like, what? I don't remember that being really talked about in the first movie. I guess Jesse was saying they allude to it and that they had an affair.
Yeah, they don't outright say anything in the first movie, but it's kind of alluded to. But it sucks because it kind of tarnishes. Tarnishes Maximus as a character.
No, it does.
In that movie, he loves his family. He loves his kid. He's very it's just kind of like it seems out of character for him to have an affair and have another child.
Absolutely, I was like, so now he's an adulterer.
Yeah,
but he did love his wife, he made some mistakes, but he loved his wife and his kid.
And it makes him not care about Lucius. If he knows that that's his kid, he kind of just like, I want nothing. Yeah, I don't know, it just seems out of character for that.
Yeah, they try to add weight to that final line where it's like, Lucius is safe. Mm-hmm. But he's saying that to her because he cares about her son because he knows what it's like to lose a son. Yeah. And they're trying to add this gravitas to it now that he's saying that because he knows it's his son. Mm-hmm. I don't buy it.
No,
you don't get to add that to it.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. So, anyway, Pedro comes up with a big scheme to overthrow the emperors because he's the general and the soldiers are loyal to him, and so he brings them in and they're gonna overthrow the emperors. I don't remember who tips him off. I think it was the
maid. There's the maid that overhears Pedro and the wife, and then she goes and tells one of the senators, and then I think Denzel gets involved in some way too.
So they stop him and arrest Acacius, or whatever the heck his name is, Pedro, and they throw him into the Colosseum because what is it? They can't kill him. Denzel, you can't kill him. You can't make him a martyr. Let the gods decide. Let the gods decide. Okay. And And so they throw him in there, and he knows that Hano wants a piece of him, so he gets a piece of him. And then it's a strange fight because I don't know. He has like some discussion with him in the fight that he knows who he is, and kind of by the end of the fight, Lucius doesn't want to kill him. Yeah, so they have this big fight with this undertone of Lucius not wanting to kill him, and then by the end, they both are kneeling, right? And then they give the thumbs down to Pedro for Lucius to kill him, and he doesn't. He just kneels down too. And I thought that one guy was great in this. The fucking British Bake Off guy, the bald white guy who announces shit.
He was pretty good.
The games are here. I was like, I've never seen that guy in anything but the British Bake Off.
Yeah,
that's great. And he seems perfect for this. Like he's a bald fucking Roman time eunuch, like straight out of the perfect. He's just acting like himself in a fucking robe. Boom, works. Anyways, and then I think they say, archers kill him, and then you see a bunch of arrows going to Pedro.
Lights him up.
Yeah, then of course his wife is pretty sad about it, and then we move on. I don't. Where do we go from there?
Yeah, now we get in. I think the last part of the movie is very politics heavy. Like there's one of the brothers, the crazy one. Denzel kind of gets in his ear and convinces him to kill the other one with the help of Denzel, which is kind of brutal. When Denzel like comes behind, and starts slashing him. So now he is the only emperor, and he's a fucking madman. And
chooses his monkey as his main advisor.
Yeah, so
Mr.
Good.
Monkey! And all the senators, what? Yes! My greatest advisor, Mr. Monkey. And my second in command to Mr. Monkey will be Mr. Denzel Washington.
Yeah. So good. But yeah, and then and Denzel's doing all this on purpose to destroy the Roman Empire from the inside. Yeah. Just for revenge of, I guess, how he was treated and the shitty life he had. So his whole thing is, I just want to tear this whole fucking government down, piece by piece, and he's doing a very good job. But I think the last thing, well, at one point we have the pretty entertaining gladiator scene with the boats. That was kind of fun, and something we've never seen before. I could have done without the sharks. That seemed a little ridiculous, but the boats in the water is pretty cool.
Where do you put these sharks after?
It's like,
what are you doing? He's got these. It's one thing, you got lions and rhinos and bears and shit, and then we got fucking water tanks down there. Just fucking, we got sharks too. We got those. So
what?
We got stingrays, crabs, all sorts of shit, dude.
Yeah, that was a little much. But yeah, I think we get to the climax, which is that they are going to. What are they going to do with the mom? They tie her up to some contraption in the middle of the Coliseum. Oh, there's just a bunch of soldiers, and then Lucius is supposed to fight them off by himself, be the one protector or something.
Yeah, this is the most ridiculous setups. Like, hey, it's like a pageant float with all like a bunch of senators and people they deem to be traitors on it, and she's like at the top of the float. They're like at the end, and she's on the top of the float, like at the maypole, like the number one prize. And so what they're gonna do is just have people walk towards it and then try to kill them, and you have to stop them. This is the most ridiculous. Like, just kill them. It's like, no, this is a funner way to do it. Okay. And then, he's fighting them off, and I think, then Denzel up in the crowd's going crazy. They're pissed about it. They're turning on the emperor and the guards, and they're like fighting him in the stands. And Denzel creeps up next to the syphilis fucking emperor and sticks a big old needle in his ears.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh! You are my second most trusted advisor. Don't kill Mr. Monkey. Promise me. And then he kills him, and then he's untying his mom, and then Denzel just fucking arrows her right in the chest, same as his wife. Just boom.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what she said. Tried to have some fucking meaningful
Oh, I
last
think I
words.
laughed because she didn't. I was expecting that, but I think she just goes, "Go, run, Lucius," and then he runs away. There's no like emotional speech or anything. Okay, we're just
Yeah,
on to the next scene. Okay, let's
there's
go.
no reason for her to stay. There's no reason for him to stay now. There's no reason to care about any of this, but here we are.
Yeah.
And then
So now we got Pedro's army coming into Rome to go through with their coup, and now the Roman
yeah.
Empire is defending. So there's two armies at each other's throats at the gates of Rome.
And then we don't even really get that fight, I don't think.
No.
We get Lucius fighting Denzel's character when they meet up. And Denzel always had this thing against, I forget what's the fucking emperor's name that Maximus served.
Oh, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah. And he didn't like it. Everyone liked him. He thought he was great, but he didn't. He's like, I was his slave.
Yeah.
I was a slave to an emperor, and now I've become an emperor, like only in Rome, you know. And he just didn't like him, and thought that a new Rome was all bullshit and it could never happen. So that's kind of his vendetta against that, and why he wants to be emperor and change everything. So he's fighting
Lucius.
What's his name? Lucius, and it's just a very small fight, and it's kind of cool. And they end up in the water, and Denzel get his hand cut off. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and then, I like when he's like stabbing down over and over, and you just get the inserts of the hit.
Yeah,
the breastplate.
Ding, yeah,
ding, 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 ding.
Shows the breastplate. The breastplate cannot be stabbed.
He's really trying too. There was like 30 pumps he did. I was like, damn. You try somewhere else. You don't have to keep to the same spot.
Father to a broken breastplate.
Yeah.
Husband. I will have my revenge. And yeah, and they keep throwing in these little one-liners that Russell Crowe said.
Oh yeah.
You know, in this life or the next, I will have my revenge, or some little.
The things you do in life echo in eternity. Yeah, like all this shit. I think that's even written on the fucking wall above his gear. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's bad. And yeah, they're done. He gets his arm cut off. Denzel's dead. So he is the de facto emperor, I guess, because he was the actual bloodline. And then the end of the movie is just him giving a speech to the soldiers.
Yeah.
I'm not much for talking, but I suspect you want to hear my words. Then he says something. This could be a new Rome and la la la. And then, anyways, and it doesn't get much of a reaction. But then everyone's like, "Yeah, we got a delayed yeah," and then everyone's cheering, and that's the end, isn't it?
I think so. That scene was kind of ruined for me a little bit because he's given this rousing speech about, you know, we need to have a better life and government for the people, yada yada yada. But they cut to a wide shot of him, like standing in the middle of these two armies, and I kept thinking like the poor fuckers in the back who can't hear a single word, they just see this little dot and him like giving the speech, like, what is he saying? Mm-hmm. I kept like doing that skit in my head, and I was like, I don't fucking know. And then everyone starts cheering his, oh, I guess we're cheering his name now. Hanas. It's like, no,
yeah,
I can't hear you.
I thought the same thing at the Coliseum. Like they'll be just talking.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah.
The emperor will be talking to these 40,000 people, mm-hmm. And it's like just talking. So yeah, and no one hears you. Hear you. Yeah. What do you say? I don't know, man. we got to get better seats next time. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know if Ridley Scott can make a good movie anymore, which saddens me. Well, I don't know what his last couple ones were. What fucking Covenant I thought was terrible. Prometheus is okay. But yeah, I don't know of many modern ones he's done that have been very good. Yeah, this was just completely unnecessary, man.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm watching, it was very slow too. In the beginning, I'm like, man, this is. I was about to nod off a couple times in the theater, The only
My
thing that
eyes were
kept me
getting
awake,
heavy towards the end
yeah,
for sure. I was like, all right, because I saw it at 6:30, and it's getting 9 o'clock. Let's let's wrap this up.
I saw this at motherfucking noon, dude.
Yeah,
I was about to take a nap, dude. The only thing
yeah,
that kept me up was fucking Sour Patch and fucking popcorn, dude, and soda. I was like, when I get tired, I just start munching on shit.
yeah.
Yeah, it was boring. And it's like, there's no reason for him to come back to want to care about this place. There's no reason for her to send him off in the first place, really. I mean, you could have left too. I have to stay. And then so much of this movie just begs you to remember Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
It's just like the member berries shit. Remember? I
Yeah.
remember Russell Crowe. You remember? Remember how good that movie was and how good he was? Remember? But he cheated on his wife. You don't remember that, do you?
Yeah.
But that happened. It was like, oh, whoa, that kind of makes him not as good, doesn't it? No, he's still good. He's still good. It's okay. We all make mistakes. uh, yeah. Oh yeah, they even show like fucking I don't remember what scene, but they even show like some fucking wheat getting touched again.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
His
Like remembering
afterlife.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck is going on here? Anyways, Pedro was good. Cut short, really short. Denzel was pretty good. I liked how you didn't quite know where his character was for a while, and he played a really good manipulator and stuff. But
Yeah, he was great.
he didn't have too much to do. You know, he didn't get
Yeah.
a lot of lines, but I could have done with more of that.
But he brought some
Espionage
like
kind
he
of stuff.
brought a lot of energy to a lot of these kind of dry scenes.
Yeah,
Just his swag, the way he fucking moves his robe around. I don't know. Every time he walks into a scene, it's a little more entertaining when he's around.
I like the the subtle yet unsubtle undertones of him being bisexual.
Hmm.
Like I heard there was a gay kiss in the movie, and that got cut out with Denzel. I don't know why. I think people were trying to say it was because they didn't want a gay kiss, but I think it ended up just being for time or something. It was a long movie,
Yeah.
and there's many times where it's like, you and I, brother, both know what we like. They're
Yeah.
talking about, and I was like, what are they talking about? But then later he's like, he doesn't prefer the company of women, and he's like, well, shit. Sometimes I don't either.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's like, I
Yeah,
was
so
like,
good.
okay. I was like, what the fuck?
That was
It's
so
just
good.
like a. This is a really cool black bi guy back in the Roman
Yeah.
days. Anyway, it just feels free to tell anyone, hey, sometimes I like that flavor too. You know what I mean?
And they'll
I thought
laugh
that was so
afterwards. Not even just that he's
yeah,
saying it.
it's
He's just like
just like that. Like,
it's so good.
okay, Mr. Denzel. Jeez, you're lucky I don't make a pass at you right now.
I love the
Anyway.
"I own your house" stuff too. That was pretty good. When he that senator owes him all that money. He's like, "I own your house."
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
get the fuck out of here. That was pretty good.
yeah. You owe me 10,000 denarii, motherfucker. Yeah, it just keeps betting him more and more throughout the movie. That was good. Yeah, I just thought it was unnecessary, and I don't know. Somehow, it tarnishes Maximus, making him a adulterer. Especially if like the kid is 12, and I'm doing the math. The kid is 12 in the first movie when he leaves, and it's like, if you want to say that he had a relationship with the queen after his wife died, that's one thing.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. But 12 years before the events of Gladiator, his wife is alive.
hmm
So yeah, it took something away from him being this all loving, all caring father and husband, which I didn't like. And this just felt very unnecessary, and like I don't know, it's such a weird sequel. Hey, we're back at the Colosseum. This is what Rome's
yeah.
doing now. I didn't need to know what Rome's doing now, like at all. And yeah, it's just I don't know what Ridley's doing. He's trying to recapture some old glory or something, but this one didn't quite work out. For me, I was not impressed. Kind of let down. I was hoping for more. I don't know. I wasn't coming in with really high hopes. It is a sequel to something 24 years later, but I was hoping for a little more than this. I'm at like a 6.7.
Yeah. Maximus once said, "Are you not entertained?" I don't know. It was okay. I don't know about you, dude, but like I'm so over this like we're coming back and doing a sequel, but it really ends up just being a remake of it. Like so many movies do that. They promise a sequel, a continuation of a story,
The
but
recall.
it's just a fucking remake of the like I watched the first movie before like right before like we turned the movie off, went right to the theater.
Yeah.
And this movie is just a remake of the first one. And I'm just so like god damn it. Like
Yeah,
so many story beats, the same thing.
we rewatched that first one, and I was amazed at how expensive that movie still looks.
Yeah.
Like it looks like money on fucking film. Like it
Oh yeah.
still looks like a fucking $300 million picture
Oh yeah.
from 2000. I'm like, damn, this movie still holds up. So amazing.
Yeah, it looks really fucking good for a movie that came out in 2000. Yeah, Maximus is a far better protagonist. I didn't feel invested in Lucius's story whatsoever.
No,
I wasn't rooting for him. He was just kind of around, you know.
yeah, you didn't care for any of these characters
Yeah, it's like okay.
except
The
Pedro.
yeah, Pedro I like,
I
but
kind of,
again,
I
like you
kind of
said, he's
care.
barely in it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, he has no reason to do the things he does, but he does them. So that's what kind of endears you to him. But then
Yeah,
he
yeah.
quickly dies.
It's just like fuck, man. And even like the action, which part of us want to see these gladiator movies because the action in the first movie is so good, and there's just something exciting about gladiatorial, Roman shit. But I would argue that none of the action in this movie surpasses the action in the first movie. Like I thought the chariot scene in the
No,
first movie was fucking awesome. Even the fight with him and that big guy with the tigers was better than anything in this movie. The only fight that I liked in this movie that I was invested in was the fight between him and Pedro because at least there's like emotional stakes to it. Like you don't want either of them to die, even though
yeah,
Pedro's going down because he's not the main character. But they're still like, no, don't like you're emotionally invested in that scene. Whereas the other stuff is just like, okay, there's a rhino, big CG rhino, cool, I guess. But
what
yeah,
if you put a fucking rhino in there, man? And he's
baboon,
riding him. Yeah.
okay. Um, But and yet I say all this, I sound pretty negative, and I guess mostly I am. But despite all that, it is kind of an entertaining movie-ish. I mean, it's not like a bad movie by any means. It's just kind of like it's just the same movie repackaged. And I'm just getting sick of these fucking studios doing this over and over and over again.
Yeah, when you do a sequel where only two characters are in the sequel,
Hmm.
it feels like you didn't need a sequel. It's like it's so different. Everyone's new. It's not a sequel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like there's no real ties to the first one. You tried making up all these ties. Well, guess what? He was his father,
yeah,
and you have to make up these artificial ties because a sequel should have almost the whole cast. So yeah, that
yeah. I just think it fails on just a continuation. Like you said, they're just shoehorning in stuff to make it feel like a continuation, but really it's not. It's like Empire is not a remake of A New Hope. Fucking Aliens is not a remake of Alien. Like they're continuations of the story with the characters. This just felt like Gladiator repackaged, and I'm just and it's not the only one. Twisters did the same thing. Force Awakens. I mean, all of these movies. I don't know if Afterlife I would consider to be. Afterlife feels pretty different and the continuation. I feel and Maverick. Those two feel pretty different.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, long story short, Denzel's great. The acting is pretty damn solid, even though it's not the most entertaining thing in the world. For me, I'm just going with a solid 6. So we're not too far off. It's fine.
Okay.
If you're just showing up for action scenes, I'm sure you'll have fun with it, I guess. But yeah, kind of a letdown.
Yeah, we got a 6 and a 6.7. Not what everyone was hoping to see and hear, I'm sure, but it is what it is. Movies are very personal. You might think it's a 9. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Go check it out and help make some of that $300 million budget back. They're gonna need your help. And Ridley Scott, man, I don't know how many more he's got in him. He's 80 something, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's like 85, 86. He's like George
Yeah.
Miller type shit. I don't know how many movies he got left in him.
Uh, who's the guy that does the zombie movies? Is that Miller? No,
No, that's George
Romero.
Romero. Yeah.
He's doing a new one. I thought, like a new
No, he's
zombie
dead.
movie.
He's been dead for like
Is he dead? Oh,
yeah,
wait,
like
does he have a son that does it? Some Romero was doing
I
a,
don't
a new
know.
zombie movie.
I don't know.
Maybe he's got a kid or something. But I saw a Romero name connected to a new zombie movie. I didn't know he was dead. I was like, how this? Damn.
Yeah,
109.
Like 5 or 6 years ago or something like that. Relatively recent. But it could be like one of those things, you know how like when someone they do this a lot with music artists when it's like they have left songs on the computer and they re-release them as new. That could be like a George Romero
unreleased script from Romero.
Yeah. It could be something like that. I don't know.
So, anyways, 6.76. Go check it out in theaters now. Gladiator, Deuce. Studios come to us when they're about to drop a deuce, baby. Yeah, as always, we appreciate you coming by. Please like and subscribe here on YouTube. Also, check us out on Apple Music and Spotify. If that's the way you do your little podcast, you want the audio version, we got you covered, man. And we appreciate you no matter how you choose to ingest our Roman grapes, okay? We'll feed them to you, too. All right? Appreciate you. As always, couldn't do without you. Till the next V's. Peace, man.
Peace.